Hello, it's Worm here with Tips and Tricks by Worm, and here to talk a little bit today about real important subject of kids sports. And so today's segment is a little bit on just giving you some advice to parents on how to talk to your kids and how to talk to the coach. So, down here in the hills, down here we got a lot of kids, right? So kids happen, and when they do happen, one of the best things you can do as a parent is find a local sport, put your kid in there, because it's free child care, okay? Coaches love to babysit kids, okay? So just a little tip there, have some kids, free babysitter 2 or 3 nights a week if you get them in enough sports. So, one of the things, though, you got to do occasionally is have a conversation. Sometimes it's with the coach. And so the coach, he'll text you something like, hey, practice is going an extra hour tonight. And, you got to text back or not. It's real helpful. Sometimes you just never respond to text from the coach, like, who's going to the game this weekend? If you don't respond, he'll probably know just what you're doing, and he'll know just how many kids he has showing up. It'll really help him out. But other times you feel like you need to respond. Like he'll say, hey, practice is going an extra hour tonight. And he didn't ask a question, but it's all good. What you do is you respond with something like, thanks for letting us know a half hour before practice that it's going an extra hour tonight. LOL. And so that's the trick, right? It's that LOL at the end, because we know. Coaches know that when you put LOL, you're just laughing. You're just kidding. Just a good time. Just do it. Oh, yeah. Little joking. And so they won't be offended. They will know that you weren't being sarcastic or, something like that. And, if you post a little something to them, private message after the game, like, hey, had a little trouble on first today, huh? LOL. They will know that has nothing about the fact that your son wanted to play first and didn't get to play first. They will know that it was just a joke because, the first baseman made an error. He's 8 and he shouldn't make errors, but he did. And they will know you as a parent just, wanted to make a funny about that to the coach. And so that's real helpful, right? So anytime you're texting a coach, I recommend 2 things. Either don't text the coach at all, especially if he's asking questions, because he'll know. And then, or if you do respond when he doesn't ask a question, tag on LOL. That's real helpful. The second subject is talking to your kid about the coaches, right? And so this really helpful advice here. The best thing to do is tell your kid that the coach plays favorites, right? Favorites, daddy ball, you get the terms, right? But those are really helpful things to tell your kid. And so make sure your child knows that it's not about how they practice or how hard they try at the game, or the fact that maybe the other person is just more talented than them in a particular position. Make sure that they know that it's only because the coach plays favorites, right? That is the motivation your child will need the next practice to make sure that they try their hardest, right? And so that's real helpful to them. And so, if you want your kid to try hard at practice and really stand out to the coach, make sure they know that the coach only plays favorites. And, last thing I'll finish it up with is, as parents, some just other tips. It's helpful if you don't make your kid come to practice all the time. That really helps the coaches out. It probably have a good winning game if we don't practice together as a team all the time. That could, get on a little nerves, spend too much time with the other kids, Maybe they got a sore, ankle, or, shoulders kind of bothering them, or they had a long day at school or something. I just tell them to, stay home for the day. Or, show up 15 minutes later after the running's over. That's always helpful. help you out, son. We show up a little late, you won't have to run. Well, I just thought I'd give you some interesting tips to really help you and your child out in your next sport. So I hope you found that this is real helpful today. And, you go out there and be a good support for your coaches. Don't offer to help in youth sports. Coach with 20 kids out there, he's gonna make all of them pros. So he definitely is not gonna have more than he can handle. And so you just leave it all up to one coach, and they will make your kids the pros that they always were gonna be. So hope you find these tips and tricks helpful. Thank you. It's been Worm.